So, back doing reviews for one of my favorite shows, The 100. This is Season 4, Episode 1, entitled Echoes. It is also the Season 4 premiere. So, this episode started where the last one left off. In Season 3, with the finale, where the Chip cult has fallen. And now everyone is devastated by this, and there's bodies all over the place because, some people fell off that tower they were climbing when the chips, shut down, and some people were killed in the City of Lights, so they're all dead. And everyone's blaming Sky Crew, including Echo, the one Ice Nation warrior who we've seen in Season 2, who Bellamy freed from Mount Weather, and then later she tricked him to getting out of Mount Weather so the one guy could blow it up and killing all the people in there, including his girlfriend. She's back. I'd seen her in the previews, but I didn't know who she was. And then it's like, oh, it's Echo, this extremely unimportant character we've seen a few times. Now she's all sorts of importance because Rowan got shot a few times last season by Kane and I think Jaha. So he's down for the count. And you got all these Ice Nation people all over Polis, so she takes command. And she wants to, take over all of Polis and make Sky Crew pay for what they've done. And this one other Grounder lady objects. She's with another faction of Grounders, one of the ambassadors. And she says, hey, if Ice Nation wants to take Polis, they got to take it by force. And, of course, Echo, without even blinking, just swings out her sword and just slices the lady's throat. And that was the scene. It's like, oh, shit. It's one of those reminders that this show is pretty hardcore. Not Game of Thrones hardcore because, different rating systems, but it's got its moments. And aside from that, not a lot really happened in this episode. It was kind of a slow one. And, Clark, she's trying to find out if Allie was full of shit about those nuclear power plants melting down. So she calls Raven and has her look into it. And at the same time, they're trying to work past Echo, who's still trying to take command of the Ice Nation. And, they want to get to Rowan and convince him, let's get an alliance going again. We see Jasper's still depressed about his girlfriend. He was thinking about killing himself. And eventually Clark, they get to Rowan. He wakes up after, Abby tends to him because they killed off the Grounder healer. So Abby would have to save his life. And, Clark strikes a deal with him. She gives him the chip of the commander and basically tells him, I wouldn't be giving you this unless I thought, shit's going to hit the fan. And spoiler alert, the shit is going to hit the fan. Everything Allie said about those nuclear power plants is true. They're going to melt down and then they're going to make most of the world uninhabitable again. And I think in my last review, last season, I kind of told you how disappointed I was with that idea. It just feels like they're painting themselves into a corner with this whole, nuclear power plant situation. It's like, where are they going to go? I assume they're going to have to go really far north into Ice Nation territory or really far down south, like South America, which probably didn't have any nuclear power plants, fingers crossed, and find somewhere to live. And it's like, and then what? It's like, they're, the human race is doomed at this point. They don't stand a chance. It's kind of like with Walking Dead, where the dead keep rising, and anyone who dies rises up into a walker. Eventually, the dead will overcome them, and they're just kind of hanging in there. But The Walking Dead is a pretty interesting show, so maybe The 100 will still make it an interesting show, even though basically the human race is fucked. And basically, I think this season is going to be about them trying to find another place to live and working with the Grounders. They were able to strike up a deal with Rowan, where he becomes sort of like the acting commander of Polis and all the clans, and he says, you will be protected. And we'll see how that works out. I'm hoping they don't, the next episode they're setting up where they go into Ice Nation territory and get some damn thing, they do some damn thing. I'm hoping, that doesn't cause them more problems with the Ice Nation because they've already been in conflict with the Ice Nation. If they're going to start some shit again this season, start it with someone else. It's one of the lesser seen clans that we haven't dealt with, like the Red Leafs or whatnot. I think there's a group that's wears Red Leafs. What's their story? Are they into growing tobacco? Maybe Monty could go find out. Speaking of which, it kind of looks, I think it's kind of suspicious that his storyline was one of them that they finally got to last season with him and Harper, which I thought was pretty cool. But now it looks like Harper's like, she doesn't take it that seriously because, they were getting it on, they finished up, and she goes, hey, now that everyone's coming back, you don't have to worry about what we got going on here. It's like, what do you mean? I thought we had something going on. And she's like, oh, yeah. So I'm thinking Harper's going to dump him. And then Monty will be back to trying to take care of Jasper. It's like, no. Go find that gold mine, Monty. He needs another storyline this season. Maybe he breaks up with, Harper, goes on his own to find a place for everyone, because instead of them knowing right away this one place we can go to, and, everyone journeying together, maybe it's like they break up the group, and Monty ends up going in some territory and finding some place. Or maybe not. Like I said, I will watch the rest of this season, and depending on how it goes, I'll finish it off or I won't. But, we'll have to see. I'm going to give The Hunter the benefit of the doubt, because I've seen, the first season was phenomenal. Second season, a nice follow-up. Third season, kind of rocky. Now we got this season. So I will give it a chance, but didn't see too much in the season premiere that made me excited about this season. And that's all I got to say about The 100. Join me tomorrow night when I'm talking about Riverdale, my new favorite show.